lot less than make it out to
No,
be.
what the problem is, Armand, how do we even know? Because they don't have these people, say, here in Wisconsin or in parts of the country that soccer just doesn't have a market because there's no team to latch on to. There's no,
If people cared about the NASL, it would be a lot better off in terms of how many fans they pull in and whatnot than it is right now. I'll tell you that. You see, not that many people go to the Cosmos games, for example. Not that many people go to the Deltas games, a championship game where they got 6,000. Kudos to them. Edmonton has been struggling with teams. You see a lot of do see a lot of clubs struggle with attendance in the lower leagues. So what does that mean? The tickets are insanely cheap, and people still yet refuse, fail to go. Look at the Rochester Rhinos.
But
they're dying.
No, for sure. But who goes to watch Houston Dynamo during the summer or the FC Dallas? It's not. It's the attendance.
They have more of a following than the USL and NASL. The NASL teams are lucky to get 4,000 or 5,000. The MLS teams are lucky to get 20,000. There's a huge difference.
By the way,
and the interest between them, more people would care about watching a Houston Dynamo than they would the USL.
That's the point. The Soccer
the
Network would balance
NASL.
it out, though. The Soccer Network would go into MLS as much as it goes to the bottom lower division teams. But the idea is to not make people more knowledgeable about the game, so you balance it out. Yes, MLS is probably going to carry the brunt of the network in the national team and the players abroad. Blah blah blah. But if you can focus a tiny bit on that lower division, you might create a little bit more fan interest.
Without promotion relegation, the lower division is nothing. I hate to be that guy, but without promotion relegation, the lower division is nothing.
Well,
no one
absolutely.
cares. No one cares, because what can they do? There's no lower division. That's it. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant.
My question is, why hasn't USL and NASL worked on some sort of promotion relegation between the two?
Because because NASL and USL are just too stubborn to work together.
Well, the issue isn't USL drastically increasing to 30-some teams to the point where it's you might as well create two different divisions?
Yeah, it is, and I agree they should work together, but they're not. That's actually a few of the presidents of Canada. They said instead of MLS, just have the other teams work, and we'll see if have the other leagues work together, see if promotion relegation can exist. But I mean, without promotion relegation, the lower leagues are nothing. No one cares about them. Move on. They're fun to watch. I think they're fun to watch. But why should a casual person outside of me care about a lower league team? Why?
Because they like soccer.
You can watch better soccer in MLS. You can watch better soccer in Premier League.
Well, okay, Premier League, sure, but MLS depends on who's playing.
Okay, if you think MLS is 1,000 times better than USL, I'll tell you that.
But
anyways.
So name your best two teams in USL. Watch them two play against each other versus the two worst teams in MLS. Who's better?
I'd rather watch two worst teams in MLS.
Say again?
I'd rather the two worst teams in MLS.
Nah, I'd rather watch USL. Much rather watch FC Cincinnati.
How many USL games have you seen this year?
About 3.
Which ones?
Well, FC Cincinnati and Phoenix. I watched some of Phoenix with Drogba over there. It's focusing on them. And then FC Cincinnati again.
You watch Louisville City?
And Louisville City, yeah. Tiny bit.
That's fun to watch.
But Armand, the point is, I would much rather go to a 30,000 seated stadium with FC Cincinnati hosting whoever.
But how many 30,000 seat stadiums are? You're acting like it's a normal. It's not normal. This is an outlier. That and Sacramento are both outliers. Outside of that,
they're outliers, and they're coming to MLS, and they're going to be a great addition. And a phenomenal.
But it doesn't help USL or NASL.
No, it doesn't. That's why promotion and relegation is the only thing that will carry them.
Boom, boom. The Soccer Network wouldn't help with any of that.
But the Soccer Network is still cool in itself. No, I'm serious though. What's the point of you and I talking about these lower division teams, huh, Armand? You've talked about it. You've wanted to advance it.
The lower division team to our viewers is interesting, but to the casual person or our listeners, I'm sorry, to the casual person, no one cares. No one cares. People who listen to our podcast are in it for American soccer. They care about. They
No,
know
but
the
that's
history
the
behind
point.
the
The
Rochester
people
Rounds.
who are watching
but no
this-
one cares.
But the people
No one
watching the
cares that
soccer
watch the
network,
network.
the people watching this soccer network are gonna care because it's a soccer network.
Yeah, all 5 of them will care.
It's not gonna be 5.
Okay, 10. Sorry.
Okay, it might be 12, but what I'm saying is those 12 people, it's worth investing some time and effort into them.
For 12 people.
Yes, I'm telling you,
Oh.
it would work. It would because
Where's my number 4 at?
One
Where's
hun-
my number 4 at?
$100 million surplus. I bet it's not that much to get some cable providers put some money into average. It's not. I could figure it out on the back of a napkin. I could create a 24-hour show lineup on what we would do, Armand, and it would work phenomenally. Okay. Anyway, we really got to get moving on here.
Yeah, we do because you got distracted.
I did not get distracted. You distracted me.
Oh, okay. So number 4, MLS needs to reformat how they talk about money. I mean, I'm not gonna.
It's a lot of reformatting on this show, huh? I think it's like this to reformat U.S. soccer completely.
Gam,
Sam, Ram, Lamb.
I don't want to talk about it because it's so confusing. I think it's still confusing my eyes.
You do. I mean, we've talked about it. The issue with this is that you cannot speculate with transfers. Trades. If you're sending money for a player like Tam Gam, are you really making a trade, or you're just buying the player? Can we not call it like Atlanta bought player X for this amount of money? But with these trades for, I traded for $150,000 worth of Gam. What good does that do? Nobody understands that. And second point, you can't speculate how much Nagby would cost, or how much is his value, or Kellen Acosta, or Zimmerman, or a Hedges, or a Simon. We don't know how much these people cost. A Kellen Rowe at New England, or maybe you want to get a player from NYCFC or NYCFC. I think Mara Diaz would be a perfect fit. But we can't speculate how much NYCFC could spend to get this player. We can only react because Tam and Gam are so ridiculously impossible to understand that you just don't know what to do.
They're not impossible to understand. They're hard for the casual viewer, which it's important for the casual viewer to understand. Because what's SportsCenter going to say? Let's say if they ever cover a deal. Wow. Atlanta buys Nagby for 1.6 combination of Gam and Tam. And it's ridiculous. I don't want to talk about it. It's just so stupid.
I'm saying they should go to just a flat fee. The problem is Tam is set up so you buy players down, you use that money, and blah, blah, blah. I just don't get it. The problem is MLS is trying to create a fair system, but it's screwing the fans for having water cooler talk or sports radio talk in general about trading for this player or what it would mean. You understand the value of Jimmy Garoppolo or what Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady or LeBron James would go for, or with the first round draft picks for the Celtics or not the Niners, but the 76ers.
76ers.
You know what those are valued, but with MLS, what? No, not one single chance do you understand what that means. I could barely understand what it means. I honestly don't even care to understand what it means because it's so ridiculously. I can't have a conversation with Armand sitting here and go, well, I'd spend $110,000 buying Christian Coleman's contract down and then using that money then I'd trade him for this amount of money. No, you can't do that. It's monopoly money. It's just make-believe money that teams have. Sits in the bank. It's literally MLS goes in and adds 150 or whatever the amount was to Portland's number, and then it's monopoly money. That's what Tam and Gam is. It's just it's like a salary cap. It's another version of a salary cap, but they do have a salary cap in MLS too. Did you know that?
No. Yes, kind of.
You see, my point. It's stupid. Moving on.
I like your next one. I like your last one. I like it.
All right. My wish list, it's time for U.S. soccer, in parentheses, I'm going to say sports media, to finally step up their game, to really apply pressure, to apply actual analysis, actual fundamentals of this game, rather than having the same regurgitated crap from Grant Wall to ESPN FC to Fox Sports. We see the same guys. We hear about the same guys. When is it? Where do we get the new guys come on? Where do we get to hear the perspectives of other people? Craig Burley gets absolutely assaulted by U.S. soccer media because he thinks the team sucks. And he said the team sucks, for some time before they actually failed to qualify. But it's like this media has this weird relationship that has to, because U.S. soccer is somehow still new, that we have to protect it. No, that's dumb. If you protect it, I thought soccer has arrived here. It's the 5th sport, okay? It is. MLS is the 5th league. In fact, it's top 10 in attendance in world soccer on an average per game.
The problem is with the media. It's just, to be honest with you,
what?
It's. I guess we're part of the problem. I'm not even sure, but
we're trying.
It's just such a really interesting topic to talk about, because for us, we do see a different perspective from the older generation. I mean, we are seeing Taylor Twellman come up with his viral rants, and what he provides are very good points and whatnot. But the U.S. soccer media in general, it's just.
Sorry to interrupt,
how to describe it.
But Taylor Twellman and Alexi Lawless are just a few voices. They're not the majority. The problem is, in Europe, you have players. I mean, Wright, the former Arsenal, I think, striker, Wright, absolutely cry on BBC radio after Arsenal got dismantled early on in the season. I think it was Liverpool. I don't remember who, but Arsenal got the dismantle, and he was borderline crying on radio, for Arsene Wenger to leave and all this stuff. But where is that? Where was the criticism? The fans criticized Michael Bradley, but where was the media in this? You listened to the days after the men's national team failure, Armand, and what was it? Oh, we're going to get through this. Oh, boo-hoo. Sunil Gulati needs to go. No, there was no comments on Michael Bradley's performance or his leadership through those couple Final Four games. Josie Altidore, Clint Dempsey, Tim Howard, the Bruce Arena's disaster of not picking other players over this. There was no criticism. They just got absolute. Sunil Gulati took the fall. Yes, he deserved his blame, but like I said at the beginning,
he took the fall for he died for our sins, our soccer sins.
Yeah, there you go.
The media here is just to describe it in lack of better words. We talked about this earlier. I feel like there was such a defensive thing when the U.S. was struggling in World Cup qualifying, and we kept saying, shoot, they might miss the World Cup. They might have missed the World Cup. Everyone's like, well, we're fine. No, the idea of missing the World Cup wasn't even implemented. Then we did. Now it's all this talk. Now we saw the whole Kathy Carter thing. I mean, you remember that. How as soon as she came on, as soon as she announced she got on Fox Sports and also on ESPN FC, and a lot of people were like, why not Guinalda? Why not this? And you saw the same reasoning being bounced back that, they were offered a chance and whatnot.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah.
But it's such a, I don't know how to describe it. It's a weird dynamic that we're seeing. Like, not that I'm trying to pick my words carefully so it doesn't sound like I'm saying something that I'm not. I just don't like what's going on with the media, U.S. soccer media. I feel like they defend their homeboys, and that's about it.
Yeah, no, you're right. Listeners, thanks for listening to our Christmas wish list episode.
If you want to hear the 10th one, it was playoff reformatting, but we already talked about that, so.
Yeah, we talked too much for reformatting. But anyway, listeners, follow us on Twitter, UncSam Soccer Pod, Steven Jodrin, Armand Kafai. We got an episode coming out Friday. Fantastic episode for you. Don't miss it. Well, you won't miss it because you're going to hit the subscribe button. Other than that, Armand, anything else you want to add before we say goodbye?
I don't know, the last media thing, maybe think really hard. So But Merry Christmas, guys.
Happy holidays.
I mean, happy holidays, and we'll be back.
Travel safe. We'll be back Friday.